How's it going, folks? So today I'm going to be checking out a song I've had in my I've had on the back burner for a couple weeks now, but I kept it there because I really wanted to do a reaction. I'll be checking out Lee Small with this song Silhouettes, and this man needs no introduction. A great voice who's lent himself his voice to many projects, and if I'm not mistaken, his new solo album, will be coming out this Friday, May 26th. And again, if I'm not mistaken, it's called The Last Man on Earth. But without further ado, like I said, I've been wanting to do a reaction to this one. I've had it in my list for a couple weeks now, and it's high time I give it a listen. So let's do it, shall we? Rangers, go.
Walking these city streets, stepping out to the beat, can't help but feel the heat from everyone you meet. All out is all we train you right, even in their daily disguise. You know it's no surprise, you can see it in their eyes. So who is watching her in these forever changing times? They can read the signs. When do we draw the line? We are all silhouettes in the shadows of the night. After the sun is set, we are lit by city lights. We are the shadows of the night. The tale is told at this red race, I wretched in many a face. So much to take advice, I can't give up with the pace. So who is watching her in these forever changing times? They can read the signs. When do we draw the line? We are all silhouettes in the shadows of the night. After the sun is set, we are lit by city lights. We are all silhouettes in the shadows of the night. After the sun is set, we are lit by city lights. We are all silhouettes in the shadows of the night. After the sun is set, we are lit by city lights. We are the shadows of the night. We are the shadows of the night. Oh.
So back when I was in elementary and middle school, especially middle school and early high school, among other things, but I listened predominantly to 80s kind of melodic rock, just 80s in general. And I owe that in large part to my father, who was big on the 80s scene, the 80s melodic rock, the 80s rock, all that kind of good stuff. I was listening to not only stuff like AC/DC, but also Duran Duran, Dire Straits, and Tom Petty, all kinds of stuff. But 80s was really, really all I listened to from elementary school through middle school to early high school. And, I kind of started to get into other things, but that was really my jam, and that is why I love the melodic rock genre so much. But this song here, it it's a very by the numbers song, but at the same time, it conjures those memories of listening to the genre and listening to 80s music for such a good portion of my life, especially many of the formative years of my life. This song in particular really takes me back to those times and those types of songs that I would listen to. And it captures that spirit, it captures that time, it really captures the 80s very, very well. So that's a little bit of a background for me. But as far as the song itself goes, very, very by the numbers. Very by the numbers. It most certainly does not try to be anything it's not or break the mold in any way, shape, or form. This is 80s melodic rock to a T and as authentic as you can get. It just very straightforward. Very, very straightforward. But with that being said, it does it so well. It does it so, so well that, again, I've said this before for some melodic rock songs, some 80s AOR, kind of style songs, that if you played this for somebody, they would be liable to believe that it literally was a song from the 80s and not a 2023 track. And that really goes a long way for me, authenticity, but just the groove and just the vibe of this song is killer. Just absolutely killer. And it's funny to say that because there's nothing in particular that stands out that is of note. There's no crazy guitar. Yeah, the solo, it was very emotive, a lot of emotion in there, a lot of, it really set a mood. It really captured the vibe of the song and the 80s and all of that. The keyboard was solid. The vocals were really, really great. Everything was great about it, but nothing in particular really stands out or really blows the mind. And yet, I find myself just thoroughly enjoying this song because it is what it is and it doesn't try to be anything that it's not. And sometimes that can really, really go a long way. You don't always have to break the mold or always bring in other influences or try something new or try to experiment with a style. You can just do something so well that that alone is merit enough. And that's kind of where I find myself with this song. It just has a groove, has a great melody. The music, it creates a great atmosphere, a great feeling. And again, it's very emotive, even though it's somewhat in the background. It's just kind of going along organically, and the soundscape in the background from the music, it's powerful. It's so 80s, and it just creates a vibe that, for me personally, is just very infectious. And the solo was really, really great. And like I said, captured the spirit of the song and the spirit of the 80s. And it was quite emotion packed. But everything else, the keyboard and the rest of the guitar, it just served as the backdrop, and served as this almost memory of the 80s as we recall it, the 80s music as we recall it. And there's power in that. There really is. Maybe for some people more than others, but for me, there's a lot of power in that. And it just did it very, very well. Very well. And the vocals were stellar. He had a lot of great emotion in his voice, a lot of great power to his voice. He really carried the vocal melody, and really hammered home the feeling that the song was trying to convey. And all in all, it's kind of an odd one for me, because all in all, I like I said, I can't say that there was anything too super noteworthy about the song, because it is what it is, and it's not trying to be anything that it isn't. I really can't explain it any more than that. But in that, it's done so well, and it captures that spirit and that energy and that feeling and that mood of the 80s, and that 80s melodic rock, kind of in its prime. And it just does it so well that I can't help but enjoy it very, very much. So it's super authentic. It's not ashamed to just be what it is. And like I said, that is really where the power of this song comes from. And I dig it. I truly dig it big time. I enjoyed this a lot. It's the kind of song that you want to be cruising down the highway with your sunglasses on, of course, because we all wear sunglasses at night. And just with the windows rolled down, the wind, you know, flowing through the car, and you're just blasting this song and just vibing with it, just feeling that mood, that energy. And that's something that can't be forced, or can't be taught, if you will. It's just something that has to flow naturally. And maybe that is why I'm so drawn to this song, because it just flows so naturally, and it speaks to me. I vibe with it, I feel it, and I dig it. Simple as that. So I really, really enjoyed this song. I'm looking very much forward now, especially to the new solo album coming out, if I'm not mistaken, this Friday, May 26th. I hope the whole thing has this energy, has this just natural, organic flow to it that is so authentic, and you just find yourself lost almost in another time, in another place. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this bad boy here. I dig it. I kind of just want to play it again, and just feel that energy again. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Are you looking forward to the new album coming out this Friday, May 26th? Let's talk about it, and I'll catch you all next time. Ranger.